Welcome to episode 38 of the Play Your Yards Right podcast. As always, I am Sasha with my wonderful co-hosts Sarah and Mike, and it's Super Bowl week, baby. We are here. We finally made it. Sarah, how you feeling? Feeling excited? Ready?
I'm trying my best to get really excited. These teams are still bringing me down a little bit, but it's a
Yep.
Super Bowl. It's our last weekend of NFL football we have coming up. This might be our last year that we're sitting here zooming at home. We might be at media week next year. So we have to enjoy and embrace it as we are at home this year. And maybe we'll be busy working it. Who knows?
I think what all the people want is Mike Blazel trying to rush the stage to get some questions answered by whoever's sitting up there on media week. So I think we may need to
It'll
make
be
that
it'll
happen.
be Josh Allen next year.
Oh, and officially there it is. We had started the Josh
Ah,
Allen clock. Wanted to wait and see how long until JA was
boom.
dropped, but we for all of those of you who bet the over, you are idiots.
Yeah.
But
Ah,
we will do our best to be able to get everybody there next week. But regardless, I feel like this year I feel like more than ever. I guess maybe not more than ever. It feels like it reminds me a little bit back of the Patriot days. I feel you just walking around the office and just hearing all the nonsense of I don't even think I'm going to watch the Super Bowl this year, which I'm so tired of. But it feels like that's like the new trope. I don't know if it's the Taylor Swift thing. I don't know if it's just that the Chiefs are back in it. But I'm just so tired of the everybody like I'm not even going to watch this year. It's like shut up. Like yes, you are.
Everyone's
yeah, no,
got
I'm not even gonna watch.
I actually don't even want to see it. But it's always exciting. It's fun seeing all the people getting in Vegas being this year. It just seems like it's going to be there'll be some fun storylines which we'll get into. But as promised, we're going to do the full breakdown this week for what we expect is going to happen. We're going to go through some general fun. One we'll go through some prop bets that I think we all would like to sprinkle some money on, maybe some fun ones, and then maybe some real bets that we actually think are going to hit. So, Sarah, without further ado, Sarah, want to let you lead off here. What do you think is going to happen in the Super Bowl, and what are some fun props you think might be interesting to take a look at?
Yeah, so I think starting it right off, I feel like it's coming through who I think is going to win this through my prop bets because I realized I had very few on the 49ers here. But I'm going Kittle and Kelsey 100 plus receiving yards each. So the odds for that plus 2,000. Now, I feel like
Ooh,
that's pretty good, right? Like I was like initially I was hoping to do like a combo like combined over 200 yards, but then I saw this in DraftKings, which is what I utilize. I guess we shouldn't be giving free advertising, but it is. And I was like plus 2,000. I feel like that's pretty good for both of them over 100 yards. So I think Kelsey probably will hit. Kittle worries me a little bit because he's been hit or miss. I think we talked about this a little bit last week, but I feel like he lives and breathes for these big moment games. So I'm thinking he'll show up this weekend.
I like that. I definitely a plus 2002. That looks pretty juicy there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kelsey. It seems like he's definitely going to get the receptions regardless, and he'll find his way to 100 yards because all the eyes are going to be on him. And
Yeah.
Kittle, you're totally right. It's like boom or bust because that dude just loves to play football. He has no problem getting in the trenches and just blocking all game. Like he'd
yeah.
still be laughing and giggling even if he doesn't catch a pass. But it does seem like, especially with all their weapons, like all you need is him to leak out a couple times, and I could totally see him having like some 55-yard touchdown off of a
Mhm.
little slant play that he started. He started on the line. He's not even lined up as a receiver or anything. So I like
Yeah.
that. That's a fun one, especially at those odds.
Yeah, and I feel like he's not getting like everyone's talking about all the Debo, Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, people are talking about him. It's a great tight end matchup, but I still feel like he's coming into this like a little under the radar, if that's even possible. So I like that one. My super conservative bet, if you're a conservative better like me, maybe you get some good odds boost on this. Mahomes over a half of an interception, so one interception. I feel like I can just see him in this, coming out, maybe getting the Chiefs getting a little too cute with it at times as they do, and also, though, with a lot of young, inexperienced receivers, there could be like a little bobbled pass that turns into interception. So I feel like this is pretty surefire. Obviously, the odds aren't great on it, but if you can get some sort of odds boost or something like that, you can maybe boost that up from minus 115. But I see at least one interception, maybe for both quarterbacks here, but I feel more confident in Mahomes throwing one.
Mm.
How do you feel about that, Mike?
Um, he's been pretty clean in the playoffs, but yeah, I mean, I hope he does. I hope
Yeah.
he throws three interceptions. Um,
If it
Yeah,
doesn't have a plus sign in front of it, Mike's not about it.
yeah.
We're opposites.
Well,
in this.
listen. It's the last game of the year. You got to get all these bets in because this is it. This
Mhm.
is the last shot we've got. I like it. I I can't get the game of him against the Raiders out of my head. So like that, whatever that version of Mahomes is still in there somewhere with this team. And the Niners could definitely, if they get pressure on it, it's all about if they get pressure.
Yeah.
If the Niners get him moving in a way where he's not in control and where he's rushing things for sure. And they've got great linebacker. I mean, Fred Warner's awesome. They should. It's definitely possible. Or a tip ball at the line, that would be pretty cool. I could see Nick Bosa doing something like that.
Yeah. Chase Young just getting tall, not really getting any pressure, but somehow just getting his hands up there. I'm
Yep.
all about
Yep.
that. I like for somehow like memory hold that whole game. I remember thinking the Chiefs were so done. I was so glad we weren't going to see them in the Super Bowl. How bad they looked on that Christmas Day game in front of the world. That was the most pathetic I've ever seen that team. And it just like that was not that long ago. What, that was like 6 weeks
No.
ago,
No.
8 weeks ago. It's like that does not. You said that, and I was like, that's not the same team.
Yeah.
That was the week where they were starting to be like, if if the Raiders win their last two and the Chiefs lose, the Chiefs are out of the playoffs.
That's just
Those were the days.
Oh, how nice that would have been. But I like that. I'll be rooting for Mahomes to throw interceptions all day, so we might as well try to make some money on it.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Next one, I'm bringing it back to my college days of helping my friends place. We would like place bets online back in the day, obviously in college, just all the ridiculous Super Bowl props. I'm going yellow Gatorade plus 300. I think it was yellow green.
Yeah.
That's just a fun one for the people out there. I feel like color combos, like red is the obvious one here, right? Like everyone's thinking both teams, red uniforms. I don't know the stats really on associating your uniform color with the Gatorade color, but that goes hand in hand to me. I feel like yellow, like both teams have a little hint of it in there. Yellow Gatorade is superior to red Gatorade, that's for sure. So I'm taking that at plus 300 on
And
there.
can you really find that bet on DraftKings?
No, it's not on DraftKings.
It's
I'm trying
I
to play
hate
to
I
all
hate New
platforms
York.
here. We're not sponsored by DraftKings only
yeah.
yet.
I'm talking
Yeah,
to talk to your legislators, New York listeners, because
I
we're
know.
not allowed to bet on so many things. All the
Yeah.
fun bets we can't get. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
was
know.
I was looking. I looked at all the different apps that it turned out it was just a New York thing, but
Yeah,
I was very, very frustrated about that. So maybe we need to make a drive over to New Jersey.
yeah.
I'm
Connecticut.
I'm game.
That's where in college. That's where we placed them. So. And then back to the football. I'm going with my touchdown parlay at plus 525. Kittle, Kelsey, Christian McCaffrey. CMC is an easy one. I guess I'm just riding with if Kittle and Kelsey are having these 100+ yard games, you'd think scoring some touchdowns in there. So I felt like that one made sense. The odds are pretty decent on it. And I feel like that's a pretty easy, triple TD parlay, I think.
Yeah.
I like
I,
that.
I like it too. But plus 525 too. It's fun. Yeah. I think what Kittle is probably the lowest odds
He's
there. I
the
feel like,
wild
yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's if you're going for it, we might as well double down and do it because yes, it seems like CMC is just always a lock to get one, and then Kelsey in the big games he'll find his way in.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then closing it out, everyone probably thinks I'm really Swifty here, but I've made it clear that I am not. But I'm riding with Travis Kelsey again at his over 100 receiving yards, combining for 350 passing yards at plus 1,200. So I don't love the 350 passing yards, but I don't know. Something about this. I just like have the same feeling. I really don't know. I know I said I wanted the Chiefs to win because I didn't want the 49ers to, surpass the Cowboys in Super Bowls. But I hate that I also am just thinking about them winning. And I know they're going to. I think we all do. I mean, I'm not gonna get to my picks yet, but I just feel like it's just all building up for it to be like, oh, here are the Chiefs. They did it again, and Mahomes is gonna come out and have a bigger performance. I know it's against the 49ers defense, so it's a little crazy, but the odds are plus, 1,200 from there. So can't say I definitely feel like this is going to happen. This is probably my least likely scenario that I'm leaning into, but I liked it.
Yeah, I kind of like
It's
that
a
as well.
fun one.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
sprinkle it
too.
on there, and it's like the 49ers. I mean, they've been letting teams score. I mean, you saw what the Lions did in the first half, and I overall think the Lions are fun, but I think the Chiefs are obviously a better coached team, and I think that if there's any coach in the world that can replicate for two halves what the Lions were able to do for one, it's probably Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes together. So I don't think that's that crazy. I really like that.
Yeah, me
That's all
too.
I got.
So I want to dive into mine a little bit. I'm kind of going, I feel like I have a same kind of feel of the game as you do, but I'm kind of going on the other side. Some of my favorite just general props right now, I want to hammer Brock Purdy under 246 and a half passing yards and under 12 and a half rushing yards. I just think that Brock Purdy against this Kansas City defense that has looked unbelievable in the playoffs, I just think Brock Purdy is not the guy. I think if they're going to get some plays made, it's going to be from McCaffrey. It's going to be because some of these other guys are maybe getting into the backfield and maybe trying to break some tackles and running. But 246 yards passing just seems kind of enormous based on how Chiefs have made these offenses look.
Yeah.
And also, I think that this Brock Purdy 12 and a half rushing yards, my favorite prop of the whole season so far has been betting quarterback rushing overs, especially when they're so low. It's like, they get away from they get away from the line once, and it's like one or I think I made the most money this season on Dak Prescott over rushing yards. He feel like he hit it every single
week.
Every week. He couldn't stop. And I think Brock Purdy, how he ran last week, is really having people being like, oh, 12 and a half, that's almost nothing. I think that the Chiefs defense is way better. And I looked, and Brock Purdy has only rushed for more than 13 yards in 6 of the 18 games this year. And 2 of them, I think, were 14 yards. So he was like right there, basically, right at that line. So aside from last week where he had 40, I think he had another week where he had 40 something. But other than that, it was a smattering of zeros, twos, fours, and I think the way that the Chiefs defense is flying around, I'm not a Brock Purdy believer quite yet.
Yeah. No, I love this one. I totally agree. I think it's recency bias from his past few performances where he's been a little bit more mobile, and I think against his Chiefs defense and just their game plan for this week, I don't see it happening. So I really like this one.
I do have Brock Purdy over 12 and a half rushing yards as one of my picks.
Well, listen,
there we go.
It's good.
All right, head to head. Someone's going to win that bet.
Yes, we can't be 100% wrong on this pod, so that's good. He's going to somehow get 12 and a half rushing yards.
Yeah, I told one of the shift leaders at one of my restaurants that Brock Purdy was 3 picks away from being one of his managers. So Purdy's either going to be immortal or out of the league. I really don't think he can go. There's no middle ground for this guy, which has got to be tough.
Yeah, you walk into a local Bellini's counter and you just see his tan dad and his dumb blonde mom just cheering him on.
yeah, exactly.
In the corner, it's like, you guys don't have to do this all the time.
We offer tips as well as hourly, Brock. Just think about it.
Well, yeah, listen, they were making a big deal the whole year. It's like, we know his salary, he's not getting paid like a quarterback, like a starting quarterback of a Super Bowl team.
Right. And those guys don't get tips. So just point Bellini's counter.
Yeah. Just keep it in mind. The other bet that I cannot stop making, because I see it every week on those like combos on the weekly specials, and I can't stop taking, because I'm like, this is totally going to hit. Plus 2,600, each team to score a touchdown and a field goal in each half.
Wow.
How is it? It's just like every week I'm like, plus 2,600. I'm like, that's enormous. And I'm like, I got to throw money on it. And it never hits. It somehow never fucking hits. And I don't understand how it never hits. It seems like you're telling me each team can't have 10 points in each half. It's just, it seems so simple, so easy. The only thing that does scare me a little bit is I definitely like the 49ers. I think they don't necessarily trust their kicker. So having to get 2 field goals and make sure they're in each half. But I mean, both defenses are good. Both offenses have the potential to move the ball a little bit. So it's like it could be a stalemate where, they're not really getting in scored touchdowns every time. So I'm hoping it's plus 2,600. How could I not? It seems so easy. And if it hits, I'll have made my money back from every other time I took it and it lost all season.
That's it. It's like the stinky dog, man. You only got to hit one of them, and you're doing just fine. I have that. That's one of my favorites.
I love that. We'll put it in there. I feel like if we're all going to take a Gatorade color, I just want to take orange. I saw that was at plus 350 in some other states. I don't know why. It feels different. I feel like unpopular opinion. I never really understood why it is my favorite color. or of Gatorade, but I don't know. I'll be rooting for it. It seems a little different. And you know what? I got me thinking. You were saying that you go with the yellow. There is something like that feels like it's more hydrating and healthier about the yellow. The yellow one
Mhm.
feels like what
Yeah.
athletes would drink. I mean, it's all just
Mhm.
sugar
Right.
water, but for some
Yeah.
reason the
Meanwhile,
yellow,
they're not drinking any of them.
yeah.
Mhm.
The yellow one, it's like, oh yeah, that one's what athletes drink. That one's good for you. So I feel like that's probably the one to make the money on.
Mhm.
And then the other one, I feel I think I'm gonna go Super Bowl MVP. I want a Super Bowl MVP Isaiah Pacheco. I think that they're gonna run the ball a lot. I think that they're gonna try to stop Mahomes as much as they can, and Pacheco is gonna have a huge day. So I think that that could probably
What are
get
the
some
odds on that?
good odds on that. I couldn't find any. Obviously, we were in New York, but I just
Yeah.
feel like that's gonna be the case, and maybe we'll make a 6 hour round trip, go down to Jersey,
Well,
and
we've got two reasons now:
let's yeah.
Gatorade colors and MVPs.
And actually a third
I
reason.
hate that you can't
We're,
bet on the MVP. I
we're
hate
gonna
that.
we're gonna have to drive down and cash out your Trevor Lawrence MVP bet I made in New
Right,
Jersey for
right.
you. So we'll,
That has to win. When do
yeah.
they announce that he won? When is that?
It doesn't. It's a
Before the
honestly,
Super Bowl?
it's probably already paid out. We'll just have to drive down to get that paid
Yeah.
out.
I don't know. It's enough winnings. They might have to bring it up to me like in like a suitcase.
Yeah, you get a hand pay like in a
Right,
casino.
right. Yeah.
So
Uh,
those are my top ones. And Mike, it sounds like you and I may be at odds a little bit here, but we also like some of the same stuff. So want to know what you're feeling, and we got to make us some money now. I think we've got a couple good things
mhm.
in the till so far. So let's have you bring us home.
All right. Well, it's the last game of the it's sad, guys. It's the last game that we can bet on. So I mean, even this list, it's like I'm gonna probably add to it because this is it. We're gonna go out with fireworks, and the next thing we'll be betting heavy is golf, which I can't wait to get. I'm actually starting to get really excited for that. So let's see. We've gone over. I have the opposite of, or I have Purdy over 12 and a half rushing, and I do have the each team to have a touchdown and a field goal in each half. On top of that, tails never fails except for in this Super Bowl because we're going heads minus 104. Everybody knows, you know who else knows the saying tails never fails? Vegas.
Mm.
It doesn't fail.
That coin's got two heads on it. I guarantee you we're going heads. I really like Travis Kelsey to catch every target at plus 950.
Oh, so no drops.
Yeah, because I feel like you get this nice insurance of like if he goes out, catches his first pass and blows his knee out, you win your bet.
All right, that's
So
interesting.
shorthanded, he's gonna be Mahomes, he's gonna get they know like he went 11 for 11 last week. Who says he can't keep it going in the Super Bowl? And at plus 950, those are great odds. I love all right, actually, so I got so here are like some real crazy ones. First touchdown scorer, Noah Gray.
Oh, real crazy. I kind of like that. Empty the clip
Yeah.
on his wild plays and stuff. Everybody's thinking
Mhm.
Pacheco. Everybody's thinking Kelsey. Find Noah Gray in
And
the
you're
back.
gonna think it's Kelsey when Gray catches it, because that's every
Yeah.
time Gray catches, I'm like, man, Kelsey again, and then I'm like, wait, no,
Yeah.
it's not Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
That is plus 4,800. So
Ooh.
$10 will win you
Okay.
$480 on that. I love that one. And the other touchdown one I have is Richie James anytime touchdown.
Oh, really unloading the clip. You
I
got
think
in Andy
I
Reid's
think it's
bag here.
well, he's returning kicks and punts. I think there's a shot that he gets one.
Former New York
So
Giant. Former New York
yep,
Giant. So that's a win for us.
plus 950. And then let's see. So now I've got the ones that I really like. Like these are these are my bold plays. These are the ones that I encourage everybody to take. Isaiah Pacheco, 30 plus rushing yards in each half is
I
plus
I
200.
saw that in there. I like that a lot. I really like that.
I love that bet. Um, I can't believe it's plus 200. I thought that would almost, maybe like plus 120 or something.
Yeah.
I've got, what else we got here? Total Kansas City players to record a rush. I have under 3.5.
Kansas City. Okay, so that's probably basically Pacheco, Mahomes, and then you're saying
And
one other guy.
and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't think there's I don't think this is I don't think four players are going to run the ball. I can't picture them being as like risky with the ball in a game where like ball security is going to be like paramount and you can throw on the Niners. I think that I think they want everybody to take it's plus money.
Yeah.
They want everybody to take the over because it's Kansas City and they're so tricky and they're but I don't see it, especially after Hardman had that fumble against the Bills into the end. Like it's just one of those. I think three of those guys, and there's a shot that Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't get a carry because a lot of times he's in there in passing situations. So that opens your window for the random Travis Kelce, some random play at the goal line. So I like under. That's plus 128.
Actually like that a lot. Do they also have a line for the 49ers on that? I feel like that number's got to be pretty high.
Yes.
Is that also?
I don't have it pulled up. Hold on.
No, that's fine.
I might take the over on that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine
that one you're going to get
3.5. Like they're going to, Debo, Brock, CMC, and then it feels like an
and
Ayuk could get
Elijah
a carry,
Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, it feels like they could just have everybody.
Hold on, rushing props. This is great podcasting.
Good radio.
Rushing props.
And while you're looking that up, I don't know if this is pro or anti, your feeling. Of the last 10 Super Bowls, 7 have been tails on the coin flips. So
heads do.
Is heads due, or is tails going to continue its dominance? Basically, looks like it was 4 in a row for tails, heads, 2 in a row, and then it was 2 heads, and then the last one, Chiefs Eagles last year, was tails. So
it's time.
Tails
it's
been
heads
hot.
time.
But tails is hot, Mike. Tails is hot.
It's time for heads. It's 4.5 is the over under for them, but then the under 4.5 is minus 162. So they want you to take the over. So that would be Mitchell, McCaffrey, Purdy. I think you still need 2 other guys. Debo will get a carry, but who's the 5th guy?
I mean, Ayuk could get whatever, have something.
Oh, Juszczyk.
Oh, yeah. Get a handoff to Juszczyk.
I might take the over. Take the over.
Now that you're saying that, Juszczyk might be a fun anytime touchdown bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Let me give you my favorite long shot. I don't even know how this. I must be like way off, and I didn't do a ton of research into like how many times this has happened. Christian McCaffrey and Travis Kelce to have 10 receptions in the first half.
Total?
That's plus 900. 10 or more receptions.
I think last week in the first half, didn't Kelce have like 9 himself?
Right. And Travis Kelce is way more involved in the first half of games. He's 34 years old. I think he just gets tired. That's what happens. Yeah. He is utilized heavy in the beginning. And McCaffrey's going to catch. I think McCaffrey's good for 4 and Kelce will get you 6. Like that made it make sense to me. Plus 900.
That feels enormous.
That's a great one. It's a great. Yeah. I'm going to put a larger than normal prop bet on that.
I like that. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be real exciting. Just rooting for offense in the first half.
Yeah, and you cash it going into halftime. Reload you to make some second half bets to lose all that money. And then we're going to talk about the game later. So I will just give you, and without giving you my pick, I have one like a teaser. It's just an adjusted line and over under. So I am doing Chiefs adjusted 6 points to plus 8.5. And I would say if you like this, bet this now because I think that line's going to come down. Plus 8.5 and under 54.5.
Okay, so just give yourself a little bit of extra juice on both of those.
And that's minus 141.
Doesn't sound too bad to me. Gives you a little bit of breathing room, and you can kind of watch
$141.
Yeah,
you win $100.
You got that. So you're Sarah, right? You're gonna that's gonna be your $140 bet.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
have to hack her bank account. Make
Yeah.
sure she makes. We have to
I mean,
10x
no,
all of her bets.
I'm in a distress state. I have $1 in DraftKings, so after this, I have to go and try and win some college basketball bets tonight to build myself up to place bets for the
You
weekend
have to win
because
some
otherwise I'm
bets with
screwed.
$1.
Yes, I'm gonna have to do some some promos on DraftKings and try and get myself back up to a decent amount for the weekend. Otherwise, I'm not making any of these bets that I put in.
You'll get there. I have
Listen,
faith in you.
we're gonna drop your Venmo at the end of the podcast. We'll
Yeah.
put it in for all the YouTubers. If you can, please, if you've enjoyed this, just
Yes.
please hit Sarah up with some
No,
funds.
this is a
She
part of
just
the
needs
thrill.
like
This is a part of the
$3.
thrill, though, like bringing myself down and working myself back up. I've come back from 12 cents. I'll come back from
Done it before, you'll do it again. I have faith in you. Before we get to our picks, I feel like just talking about some storylines that are always fun. It's just predicting some of the stuff. I feel like everybody's just going to make a whole big deal about Vegas. Like they've never, like all of these very rich people have never been to Vegas. They're just
Mhm.
gambling references for the first time. They're like, oh, it's so crazy. Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. I'm sure it's going to
Mhm.
be insane. It's going to be a madhouse there. I'm sure it'll be a good time. But I do think it's the crazy thing that the rule is that any active NFL player can't step into a sports book. So I just want to know, like, what are the repercussions? Are there going to be repercussions? Is anybody going to get like Calvin Ridley suspended from
Yeah.
this? Is it like a fine, a slap on the wrist? Do they become public? I'm just very curious to see how they police that. Like, is it like too close? Because it's not like there's like a room you go in. It's like this just like a massive casino that people are walking around and you happen to like walk by a hallway that's a sports book. Like, how serious are they taking this?
I was gonna say, like, isn't everything a sport? Like, what isn't a sports book?
Yeah, there's no. It's not like you go into a separate room. You just like are walking through this giant maze of a casino that's designed to get you lost. And it's like, yeah, some guy is probably just going to end up in a sports book. So it's like, how much of a problem is this going to be? I think there's going to be just like pictures all over social media of just some dumb lineman or some wide receiver like that, just like is sitting down in a sports book watching a game, and like, is this going to be some problem? It's obviously I understand that we're going into like a weird uncharted waters and they're trying to figure out how to handle it. But just saying that you can't step foot in a sports book seems kind of crazy.
Yeah, hey, sports betting was legal before it was on our phones too. Everybody
Yeah.
acts like they just invented. Like Pete Rose was betting on games in the '80s, so
A lot easier,
'70s.
a lot easier to hide. Unlike was it?
Don't tell Pete Rose that.
Yeah. Well, it's he wasn't found out quite as easily as what was that guy Kayshawn Booty, the guy that
Yeah,
plays like
yeah.
hundreds of thousands of bets, just then has his username just his name with like 3 at the end.
Listen, God could have given that guy speed or brains.
Yeah, and speed.
You got speed. You got speed.
That's all right. I feel like the other thing I'm just waiting for, like, will Kyle Shanahan blow another lead? I feel like if they get up in this game, it's just going to constantly be everybody's got the 28-3 and this all these other things. Some coming back, so I feel like that one's kind of going to be in the ether. Kelsey Swift, it's going to be how many Taylor Swift references.
How many times do you think they're going to show her? What are we setting the line at?
We're gonna have like the NORAD Santa thing, but on her flight back from Japan. And it's like, oh, man, she's gonna be so tired. It's like, I don't think she's going through TSA. Like, I'm pretty sure she's got like a very nice plane that she'll probably be able to sleep on. Like, we're not getting like
a seven. She has like a full size plane. It's not even a private plane. It's like a boat. It's like a I mean, I don't want to say Boeing. I hope it's not a Boeing.
Yeah. But there's just like pictures of her in Japan, like going through TSA pre-check, just like exhausted. Like, I gotta go.
Can you imagine if her plane crashed on the way back?
Would
they cancel the Super Bowl?
I think we're gonna get canceled.
These are the questions nobody's asking.
People thought what Big Cat said was bad. I don't know if they're gonna take too kindly to that.
What if they do it, but then it turns out it's just faking it for her new album launching?
Oh,
tinfoil hats, everybody.
Yeah, and then she wouldn't be dating Taylor Swift. She'd be dating a guy on your team.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like everybody's gonna be talking about McCaffrey. If the 49ers win, Christian McCaffrey and Ed McCaffrey both win a Super Bowl for the same team. There's gonna be lots of pictures with Christian McCaffrey as a baby and some 49ers stuff and like whatever with his dad doing all that. I feel like that's gonna be all over the place. And then actually I saw this very fun thing online that was very random because I always love like what is it, sliding doors moments, revolving doors moments, whatever there's the doors moments,
Yeah.
these little things that nobody really notices anything to do with each other all of a sudden like are important. And it was like this guy did this whole kind of video about how the most important player for the 49ers is actually CJ Beathard. And that was because in 2017, when the 49ers were really interested in CJ Beathard, so they happened to be, when they were scouting him at Iowa, they were watching him. And then this tight end that nobody really paid attention to or knew about was George Kittle. They ended up drafting George Kittle in the 5th round. That wasn't really on anybody's radar. So obviously ends up becoming George Kittle, who's, incredible. And then, 2 years later, 3 years later, when they trade CJ Beathard or he ends up walking and he ended up going to the Jaguars and he ended up signing for a big enough deal with the Jaguars that he was issued or the 49ers got a compensatory pick, which ended up being pick 262, which they drafted Brock Purdy with. So it's just like these little moments of some perennial backup quarterback CJ Beathard Beathard led the 49ers to have Kittle and Brock Purdy. So it's like that's a fun little tidbit. It kind of means nothing.
I like it.
CJ Beathard actually introduced me and my wife.
No way.
Yeah. It was crazy.
You met her in Iowa.
And he delivered our child. He was in the I was like, CJ Beathard.
What are you doing?
He was like,
here,
your doctor collapsed. I'm gonna help you birth your child. The guy's incredible.
Can't say enough nice things about that guy.
He's like Kevin Bacon. Yeah. He's just, somehow it all links back to him. Yeah, exactly.
So I like all those. It's Super Bowl. It's exciting. There's enough, there's all the media, what they put into the NFL. It's all just condensed down into 2 weeks in one game. And I just love it. Can't get enough. Just feed it to me because I'm gonna have I'm gonna be out of it for the next, we're not gonna have it till the fall. So let's drink it in while we can.
I know. It's sad to think about how long it is till like the draft and free agency. Yeah. Like I've been on that path for a couple weeks now, and it's still months away. It's depressing. Yeah, Don't look that up, people.
Yeah, I feel like that's the movie. We got to get into golf and basketball. Now's a good time. I'm going to start worrying about Joel Embiid's knee and how good the Knicks look. So I can't start thinking about football again.
They do look good.
So
I really like the Miami Heat, but we could talk about that in future podcasts. Really like the Heat.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah,
scary.
Heat Clippers. What a finals!
That would be interesting.
Plus 7,000.
The Heat can't do it.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Just trying to feel something. Before we let you go, we need our official Super Bowl predictions and the way we see the game going. So Sarah, I want you to lead us off. How do you think this game is ending? Who's coming out on top?
Yeah, I'm going a little higher scoring than others might be, but again, I feel like that matches up with my bets and predictions here on a big performance from Mahomes and Kelsey. I'm going the 49ers 27 in a loss to your Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, with 30.
Wow, that's okay.
I'm hoping for a good game. I'm manifesting this, right? That's what everyone would want. I feel like that's ideal score. But I feel like I don't see it in that like the Chiefs come and like win. Like kind of clawing their way back would fall short. That's how I see it.
Okay, Chiefs go out.
That would be an awesome game. That's an awesome score.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you'd like 1 point less based on what you said. 50 was.
Yeah. True. Yes. Wouldn't be awesome for my bet.
Yeah. But maybe just 1 point less would be nice. I'm kind of following you in a similar ilk. I'm going Chiefs 26, 49ers 20. I'm not rooting for this score. This is just what I think is going to happen. I'm vehemently rooting against the Chiefs, aside from whatever bets I put in, but I don't think Brock Purdy can do it. I think Mahomes is too much. Andy Reid is too much. I originally had Chiefs 26, 49ers 17, but then I realized that I love that 1 touchdown and 1 field goal in each half bet. So I needed to get the 49ers to 20 points. I'm just worried about the 49ers being able to score on the Chiefs defense, especially if they're going to have to play from behind. Feels like it's going to be the same thing. Chiefs are going to come out, score early, the first 2 drives or something. 49ers are going to have to try to push it. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Brock, and I'm just not sure he can do it. all that being said, I've already put the bet in on the Chiefs because I knew as soon as the game got closer, I was just going to want to bet the 49ers and I was just going to want the 49ers to win. So I've already bet the Chiefs. So now I can just focus on rooting for the 49ers to win. And it was kind of an emotional hedge. So I'll be happy either way.
I like that.
Mike, how
I
you
like
feeling?
that. Well, I also like the Chiefs. I mean, I
Cool.
don't, but I think
Yeah.
the Chiefs are going to win. I have it. I have it at 20-13.
Wow.
Real barn
Yeah,
burner, but probably realistic.
Hmm.
yeah. I think what's crazy is like I think that 13 is from like a missed extra point from Moody too. I don't think it's going to be a field goal. I think he's going to miss one, and then they're not going to be able to kick field. They're not going to trust him anymore. I like. I think you take the better quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like Trent Dilfer was a not super great quarterback who won a Super Bowl, but they had like an all-time defense, like one of the
Yeah.
best defenses ever. I think about like Rex Grossman on the Bears in the Super Bowl, and it's like they got killed. And,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying Purdy's Rex Grossman, but he might be. But he might be Rex Grossman. Like with their record without Debo Samuel, they lost those 3 games without Debo. Like they kind of stunk. Like they're really their motor is all these, their offensive weapons, and I think their defense is like okay, but
Yeah.
it's really not great. And like Mahomes isn't a guy that you're going to be able to like pressure a ton. One of the props that I really wanted to take was Chris Jones and Nick Bosa to record half a sack. It's like plus 280. But it's like that's because of Nick Bosa. I think Mahomes is going to be able to like escape and do what he does or get the ball out quick.
Yeah.
I
And
think Andy Reid's
yeah.
a better coach.
Mhm.
And
No.
I just think they're that good. They're that good, though. This combination of Reed, Kelsey, and Mahomes, and Pacheco, you know, he's like the hardest running guy ever. Their offensive line plays really well, and their defense is incredible.
Yeah.
They're going to win.
Yeah.
I just don't
Unfortunately, yeah.
see this being a lot of points.
I think you're probably right. Unfortunately, it's definitely a little bit of just wanting the points and not wanting to sit through watching the Chiefs win in a boring game where there's 30 points scored. But we're all on the Chiefs, so that means probably bet the 49ers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's fun too, and I don't have numbers for you guys, but you should go. Everybody should take a couple of you could do Super Bowl squares on these betting apps. So you don't have to be in these pools. You could pick 7-3 or 0-0 or whatever, and they play for all 4 quarters.
That's a fun way to watch
So
it.
that's going to be a great way to keep it exciting, even if the game stinks. It's like I'll be like I'm going to take 0-0. It's like, well, if the first quarter is awful, I'm going to win some money.
Yeah.
That's
And
that's good.
I like purple Gatorade, by the way.
Oh,
That was the thing I was missing with the Ravens. Turns out it's all about the red teams and the purple Gatorade, guys.
oh, the
Yeah.
colors. Okay, that's
Yep.
what
Yep.
we're
Yep. Yep.
going
Yep.
for. I like that. Oh, and also I always feel like people talk about Trent Dilfer. He was not a good quarterback. Won a Super Bowl. Like he beat Kerry Collins, so I kind of feel like whoever won that Super Bowl was going to be like, oh, that guy won one. It's like it wasn't exactly a real quarterback show for that Super Bowl. So
A big drinker, Kerry Collins, wasn't he? He just get a
I
couple of yeah.
I can see that. A
Don't look
guy.
into his driving record.
He's a real Johnny Damon, if you know what we mean.
He might have been 3 sheets to the wind in that game.
Oh no, Kerry. Well,
I hope I didn't just besmirch the wrong quarterback. Yeah.
What is Kerry Collins going to do? Listen, Kerry, we know you're listening. Come on the pod and discuss.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, no, I'm right. I'm right.
I'm going to see Kerry Collins.
1998, November 3rd. Who can forget? Where were you guys? Everybody knows where they were on November 3rd, where Kerry Collins was driving while intoxicated. Yeah, big drinker.
Yeah.
I think there's some stories about. I heard something. I think he was like during like preseason or like practices. They're like he smelled like booze towards the end of his career. Yeah,
gotta love that for them. That was back in the day when men were men.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, Babe Ruth would like smoke a cigarette, eat a hot dog. Times are different. I mean, Granted, Babe Ruth was way before Kerry Collins, but you get the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, Babe Ruth was playing before they desegregated baseball, so
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
I don't think he can hang with that anymore.
No.
So we're all on the Chiefs. I think we're all excited for hopefully a good Super Bowl. I want the Chiefs defense to take a step back, 49ers defense to, do a little bit more of what they did in the first half against the Lions. And let's just root for points, I guess, because whatever. We're rooting for the 49ers, I guess, except for Sarah. You gotta hold your sweet Cowboys intact. But are you gonna have you already mourned the loss of Dan Quinn? Figure before we let the people go.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on it still. It's gonna all be contingent upon who is our defensive coordinator. I've heard that they're talking with Zimmerman, former Vikings coach, which I still have to do a little bit more thought thinking on this. But from what I've heard, from what I've seen, people are saying he's more of like the disciplinarian type, which I do think we need. So I'm feeling like that's a good. I don't know where it's going. I think there was they were in talks late last week, so we'll see. But I think it's going to depend on who is his replacement and how fast I get over it.
Yeah. So are Belichick, Carroll, and Vrabel all just not going to coach this year?
It's crazy.
I
It's crazy. I don't understand it. If Belichick doesn't coach, there's no way he's coming back next year.
No.
I don't see it.
Unless he's sitting on some team with an unspoken agreement. The Cowboys and Mike McCarthy, who has 1 year left in his contract, maybe. Like that's the only thing I can think of there
Right.
is he knows something that we all don't, and there's something behind the scenes on it for next.
Look, if there's that handshake agreement, like what are you waiting on? You're waiting on just Dak to get older and like your offensive line to get older. Like if you're going to make the move, like why wouldn't you just make it? It's not like Brady wants to take a year off and he'll come back to Fox whenever he wants. This is like
Right.
the whole team gets
Right.
older and
Right.
you got to figure something out. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like I probably agree. I can't imagine him taking a year off and then wanting to come back unless there is just like he's waiting for something that he just wants to happen. Because it's like, is Vrabel going to go like be the DC and then like wait for the head coach to get fired and step in? Like I don't know if he would do that. I don't know if they would want him to do that.
You tank that season then if you do that because everybody in
Yeah.
the organization would know.
Yeah.
I think Vrabel did something. Vrabel pissed some like I'm not saying he's blackballed, but like his firing was very strange that's the way that it went. And then to not get a job. I mean, you know the way the owners are, like they can be like vindictive like that. So I wonder if he just got like, you're not coaching this year, buddy. Who knows? You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It didn't sound like it was a real amicable divorce there.
Little Ime Udoka kind of nonsense.
Oh, maybe.
Who knows? Yeah, we haven't heard anything. So I just think
Vrabel's
it's
a handsome guy.
He is. I think he's also probably married, kids. Seems like a good dude, but you never know.
Yeah, true. We got to stop. We're really getting these guys in trouble.
Let's see who else we can.
More Kerry Collins, less of Vrabel.
Let's see who else we can besmirch.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody for sticking with us through a wonderful football season. We're gonna hopefully make some money on these prop bets. It's gonna be a fun game, and then we will be back next week to break down all the ins and outs, see where we were right, see most likely everywhere we were wrong, and we will be able to officially on Play Your Yards Right crown the Super Bowl champion. So follow Play Your Bets Right for any other last minute bets that we end up finding. We'll let you know if we end up making our way down to New Jersey. Follow us on Instagram at Play Your Yards Right. And as we teased a little bit last week, we are going to be doing some more stuff, sharing a little more stuff, and possibly doing a little name change. So we'll let you guys know about that. So we appreciate you listening, and we will catch you next week after the Super Bowl.